Hi, welcome back. This is part three. Um, so, if people believe what they're told about their worldview without testing it for themselves and have faith in the people telling them about their worldview and look up to these people like a religious person looks up to a priest and believes in their creation story, is that not the same as a religious worldview? You've hit on a crucial point. Yes, the way people adopt and adhere to any worldview, whether traditionally religious or secular, can exhibit very similar patterns. Here's why your observation is astute. The mechanics of worldview adoption. Regardless of the specific content of the worldview, the process by which individuals internalize and live by it often involves faith and trust in authority. Religious believers place faith in sacred texts, religious leaders, priests, imams, rabbis, gurus, and established traditions. They trust that these sources convey fundamental truths about existence, morality, and purpose. Secular. Example, atheism, nihilistic consumerism. Individuals might place similar trust in scientific consensus without personal verification. Accepting scientific theories, example, evolution, Big Bang, based on the authority of scientists and institutions without necessarily delving into the empirical evidence themselves. Cultural narratives, social norms. Adopting prevalent societal values, media messages, and consumer trends as truth because they are widely promoted and accepted by those seen as successful or influential. Example, celebrities, advertisers, social media influencers. Philosophical figures, accepting the tenets, tenets of certain philosophers, example, Nietzsche or for nihilism, as foundational truths without critically engaging with their arguments. Market forces, believing that economic growth, consumption, and material accumulation are inherently good or the path to happiness, because this is the dominant message of the capitalist system and its proponents. Creation/origin story, or lack thereof. Religious religions typically have explicit creation myths or divine origin stories that explain the universe's beginning, humanity's place, and often its ultimate destiny. Secular. While not necessarily creation myths, secular worldviews often rely on narratives about origins. Scientific cosmology. The Big Bang Theory and evolutionary biology serve as the origin story for many secular worldviews, explaining how the universe and life came to be without divine intervention. Historical narratives. Stories about the development of human society, progress, and societal structures can serve as an origin story for how we got to be here, or how we got to where we are now. Like two sticks in the ground 2,000 years ago, and all them other stories tell you an apple fell on Newton's head. It didn't. That's a myth, but that's the story you're told. And then all these other people who, like Copernicus and all these other people and everything else, all stories. Nihilistic perspective. The origin story might be one of cosmic accident or randomness, leading to the conclusion of meaninglessness. Lack of personal testing. It's a common human tendency to accept a pre-packaged worldview, whether religious or secular, without rigorous personal scrutiny. Life is complex, and developing a worldview from scratch requires immense intellectual effort. There's a lot of people out there that haven't got that. And critical thinking, well, that as well. It's often easier to adopt the prevailing narratives of one's community, family, or influential figures, or whoever else is telling you. For example, someone's born into a highly consumerist society might never question the idea that happiness comes from buying things, just as someone born into a religious family might never question the existence of God. The truth is simply presented as a given. The key distinction, content versus form. The crucial difference lies in the content of the worldview, not necessarily the form of its adoption. Religious worldview, characterized by belief in the transcendent, spiritual, or supernatural, often involving deities, sacred texts, and a framework for meaning that extends beyond the purely material. Secular worldview, like the one you described, characterized by a focus on the immanent material world, often rejecting the supernatural and deriving meaning or concluding a lack thereof from human experience, scientific understanding, or social constructs. Conclusion. So, yes, you're right. If people uncritically accept the tenets of atheism, nihilism, consumerism, and materialism from authoritative sources, treat these concepts as unquestionable truths, and derive their sense of purpose and explanation of reality from them, then the mechanism of belief and worldview adoption is strikingly similar to how many people engage with traditional religious worldviews. The faith isn't in a deity, but in the prevailing narrative, the perceived authority of the experts, whether scientists, philosophers, or marketers, and the collective agreement that these ideas constitute reality and define a good life. It highlights that all worldviews, by their very nature, involve a foundational set of assumptions that are often accepted without complete personal empirical verification. Right, I'm going to go on to part 4, is it next? So we're going to go to this one. Thank you.